Although Yulan City often has theft and occasional plundering, it is generally very stable and safe. We'll first go sell the corpses of the low-level primordial life, Emperor Qing said with experience, maneuvering the black flying boat towards the inner city. Large-scale trades of low-level primordial life corpses almost always take place at the primordial hall. The first floor of the primordial hall is for trades of low-level primordial life corpses. On the second floor, you can exchange combat merits, Emperor Qing explained. Combat merits. Luo Feng looked at Emperor Qing. Killing low-level primordial lives earns combat merits, Emperor Qing said with a smile. Accumulate enough combat merits, and you can exchange them for some unimaginable treasures. Some of the treasures within the Infinite Space Treasure Vault can be obtained through combat merits. Luo Feng understood and asked continuously, how many combat merits can we get for our spoils of war this time? A low-level primordial life from the early stage of Divine Emperor is the weakest level. 6 corpses equals 6 combat merits. Emperor Qing shook his head. Our rate of accumulating combat merits is too slow, so we usually sell the corpses directly, including the combat merits. After all, it's impossible to verify who killed them from the corpses. As long as you take a freshly killed corpse to the second floor for verification, you can lock the combat merits under your name, Emperor Qing said with a smile. Generally, only the Hall Masters and the Elders are willing to collect combat merits on a large scale. Luo Feng nodded. During their conversation, a magnificent and colossal palace had already appeared in the distance. The entire palace was a deep azure color, profound in hue, with an endless aura of malevolence subtly concealed within. This palace has collected an unknown number of low-level primordial life corpses over the endlessly long years. Of course, too many cultivators have died during hunting as well. Hunting itself is a matter with both risks and rewards. If successful, you naturally make a great profit, but failure could mean death. We've arrived at the primordial hall, Emperor Qing said, looking at the palace in front. Quickly, after putting away the black flying boat, Emperor Qing took Luo Feng flying to the front entrance of the first floor of the primordial hall. The first floor of the primordial hall was quite expansive, divided into 13 independent areas, each of which could carry out trades of low-level primordial life corpses. The 13 buyers of low-level primordial life corpses all have different prices, Emperor Qing said with a smile. You should ask around a few places and see who offers a higher price to decide who to sell to. Emperor Qing, my brother, a jovial rotund elder greeted warmly, went hunting again. Seems like you've got quite the haul. Just risking my life, Emperor Qing said as he walked over. Those of you from the source world have avatars. You're far stronger than us, the rotund elder laughed. Although he was a bit stronger and could purchase life-saving items, he rarely went hunting anymore. In the billions of worlds, the frequency of strong beings going hunting is generally much lower than the cultivators from the source world. This time we hunted 6 low-level primordial lives. Take a look. What price can you offer for each? Emperor Qing sat down with Luo Feng, and the attendants had already prepared delicious food and wine. And who is this? The rotund elder looked at Luo Feng. This is my brother Luo Feng, Emperor Qing said. I'm Bu, and I'm in charge of Shop No. 3 on the first floor of the primordial hall, the rotund elder said enthusiastically. I hope Luo Feng will take care of our business in the future. Although he was in charge of this shop, it was not his own. After all, there were only 13 shops on the first floor of the primordial hall, and even weaker elders did not qualify to get involved. Luo Feng nodded. Sure. The two sides negotiated the price. I'll go ask a few other places, Emperor Qing said after finishing the negotiation. After asking the 3 shops he was most familiar with, Emperor Qing eventually sold the low-level primordial life corpses to these 3 shops. The corpses themselves were sold for a total of 6.08 million primordial crystals, and the 6 combat merits were sold for 600,000 primordial crystals, totaling 6.68 million primordial crystals. There are not many coming to sell low-level primordial life corpses. Luo Feng observed the trade and noticed there were no other cultivators coming to sell spoils of war during this time. In all of Yulan City, there are at most hundreds of thousands of hunting teams, and on average they hunt once every several hundred eras or even longer. How much trade volume can the primordial hall accumulate in one era? Emperor Qing said with a laugh beside him. Luo Feng did some quick calculations and nodded slightly. Let's divide the spoils of war. This time, you risked a lot in the rear. Let's take out 500,000 primordial crystals from the total spoils of war for you first. The rest we divide equally. Emperor Qing allocated on the spot within the primordial hall. You get 3.59 million primordial crystals, and I get 3.09 million primordial crystals. I owe you 100,000 primordial crystals, and today I can finally pay it off, Luo Feng said. Emperor Qing nodded and, with a flip of his hand, produced an object. It was a dazzling polyhedron, emitting a variety of strange colors. Brother Luo Feng, I'll sell you this treasure, the Illusion Realm Maze, for 90,000 primordial crystals. How about it? The Illusion Realm Maze. Luo Feng recognized it immediately. It was a storage secret treasure with a uniform selling price of 100,000 primordial crystals in Yulan City. Carried to store treasures, very few in the entire Nine Rivers Sacred Realm could steal from it. Almost every divine emperor owned one. Luo Feng, previously poor, was reluctant to buy one. But now with his first hunting yielding over 3 million primordial crystals, if he were robbed, it would be too late even to cry. Buy it, of course, I'll buy it, Luo Feng said with a laugh. Emperor Qing, where did you get the surplus Illusion Realm Maze? When you're out, it's easy to encounter robbery. Naturally, this also means you might counter-rob and obtain a few Illusion Realm Mazes. Emperor Qing said smilingly. Those shops sell it uniformly at 100,000 primordial crystals. But if I sell it to them, they are only willing to pay 80,000 primordial crystals. Luo Feng understood. I knew you would definitely want to purchase after the hunting expedition, so I prepared it in advance for you, said Emperor Qing. All right, let's part ways here. I'm also planning to go out for a substantial purchase. Okay. Luo Feng easily refined the Illusion Realm Maze, an extremely high-level spatial secret treasure. It was possibly at the half-primordial level in terms of craftsmanship, but due to its simple materials and sole function, the price was kept impressively low. After purchasing the Illusion Realm Maze, I still have 3.4 million primordial crystals left. Luo Feng felt a sense of financial robustness. I must go on a grand shopping this time. Last time, he bought almost the cheapest materials in Yulan City, refraining from purchasing many things that had caught his interest. All intelligence on the divine emperors in Yulan City, 10,000 primordial crystals for one set. I'll take one. Luo Feng no longer felt distressed, casually buying a set of intelligence stored in black jade that concealed a heart spell technique. To access the information, one must first actively use this heart spell technique, employing one's spiritual power to apply a layer of the heart spell on oneself. Luo Feng barely took time to understand the content and immediately tapped into the black jade to actively use the heart spell technique. Once the heart spell technique was completed, the black jade dispersed, and a stream of information merged into Luo Feng's consciousness, namely the detailed information of numerous divine emperors in Yulan City. Yulan City's 10,377th Divine Emperor Intelligence Report. There are approximately 3.47 million Divine Emperors in Yulan City. We have collected information on 3,397,320 Divine Emperors. Yulan City's #1 Divine Emperor, Weiyong Palace Master, a half-primordial level enlightened one, a powerhouse from the source world, and presumed to be the mightiest entity within Yulan City. He has once demonstrated formidable physical strength, killing a perfect low-level primordial life in a one-on-one battle with his physical might alone. He also revealed his terrifying formation skills, using them to besiege and annihilate an entire tribe of low-level primordial lives, with very few managing to escape. The report also contains some scenes of Weiyong Palace Master in action and conjectures on detailed combat situations. Yulan City confirms that nearly 100 elders are completely aligned with Weiyong Palace Master. They have formed the largest faction within the city, occupying half of all trade shares. The Insect Nest, Shadow Tower, and Deceit Workshop, three forces notorious for theft and robbery within the city, all pledge allegiance to Weiyong Palace Master. Luo Feng carefully read on. The three forces daring to steal and rob within the city all stand behind Weiyong Palace Master and nearly 100 elders. They also take up half of the city's trade share. Truly terrifying. Yulan City's second Divine Emperor. Yuan Xiong Palace Master. A half-primordial level enlightened one, a powerhouse from the source world. The founder of Yulan City. His contributions to Yulan City are immense. In the process of building the city, he led many elders in battles against tribes of low-level primordial lives, exhibiting an eruptive strength even more formidable than Wei Yong Palace Master. However, his physical body is rather ordinary, and he has been injured all along. As a source world powerhouse, he has multiple avatars, each of them likewise afflicted with injuries, suspected to be contaminated by high-level primordial life. The report included multiple scenarios where Yuan Xiong Palace Master took action. Being weak in physique, Yuan Xiong Palace Master always struck from a distance, displaying the power to destroy heavens and earth. Just catching a glimpse of him, one could feel his frailty, his flame of life seemingly struggling to keep burning. He is the city founder. At this moment, Luo Feng held some respect for Yuan Xiong Palace Master. Building a city in the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm was an arduous task. As the founder, Yuan Xiong Palace Master's contributions were monumental, and nearly 100 elders sided with him. However, due to his own weakness and infrequent interventions, the faction he led seemed a step behind in power. Yulan City's third Divine Emperor. Gai Dao Divine Emperor. Gai Dao Divine Emperor, a half-primordial level enlightened one from the source world. In the entire Nine Rivers Sacred Realm, he is ranked among the top 3 in artifact refining. He disdains fighting and instead leads just over 30 elders with an interest in artifact refining to concentrate solely on crafting artifacts. The various weapon secret treasures he has crafted are sold in several cities throughout the Nine Rivers Sacred Realm. Through the might of his weapon secret treasures, Gai Dao Divine Emperor's strength is unfathomably deep, possibly not inferior to Wei Yong Palace Master. However, his rare interventions make it difficult to assess his accurate strength. The intelligence included 3 instances of battle where he acted casually. One instance released a colossal abyssal orb that devoured a perfect level primordial life of Divine Emperor level. Another time, he extended a hand and a giant palm crushed an elder who dared to offend him, killing him with brute force. The other palace masters said nothing about it. Although that elder was a source world powerhouse with avatars, he never returned to Yulan City after that. Another occasion was a wrathful moment when he killed one of his own disciples, swallowing the disciple whole. It was clear his physical body was as formidable as a secret treasure. The intelligence of 3,397,320 Divine Emperors. 3 of them were half-primordial level enlightened ones. 723 were enlightened ones at the later stages of Divine Emperor and others of comparable power. 50 to 1,092 were mid-stage Divine Emperor enlightened ones or of equivalent power level. The rest were all at the early stage of Divine Emperor level as enlightened ones. Entities like Emperor Ming, who barely reached the Divine Emperor level through the power of their lineage, are not recognized by Yulan City. The early stage Divine Emperor enlightened one's power level is the lowest threshold for being recognized as a Divine Emperor. We have also discovered 53,321 suspected early stage Divine Emperor enlightened ones. The intelligence for suspected early stage Divine Emperor enlightened ones was much more brief. The 51,029th, Luo Feng, recently arrived in Yulan City, residing in the same cave mansion as Emperor Qing, suspected early stage Divine Emperor enlightened one, likely a source world powerhouse. This was the record regarding Luo Feng. I'm actually also in the intelligence report, though at the very end, Luo Feng chuckled.